All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Well, I got a burr in my saddle.
We talk, you listen.
Somebody that's going to take an innocent life is not mentally insane?
You know them.
Time to nut up or shut up.
You love to hate them.
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
We're a good team.
Can I bring my AR-15 next time?
Sure.
Yes.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch. I'm in California, and we have Denton. He is in Alabama, and he needs to take a nap.
I do. Yes. But, I just got off work, so, I'm going to be a little tired, but not as tired as Marty.
Marty? Who's Marty?
Yeah, Marty. Marty is Work Wifey's cat. Now.
You've been prancing around all night like cats seem to do?
No. Marty hasn't been prancing since December, it turns out. Work Wifey was out on, what do you call that, short-term disability. She had surgery on her hand, and she just got back this week. And she told me today, she says, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Marty's dead.
Marty died?
Marty is dead. I mean, it's a shame, but she was out on the porch one afternoon, glass of wine, enjoying life, petting Marty. Marty is fine at that time. And then later on that night, she checked on Marty again, wanted to know if Marty wants to go outside or stay on the porch, and Marty indicated that she wanted to stay on the porch. So Work Wifey closed the door to the porch there. It's screened off. By the way, the reason why Marty is because Marty has one crazy eye. And so Work Wifey and her husband named her Marty after Marty Feldman.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, in case anybody's wondering, why is a she-cat named Marty?
Abby Normal.
Anyway.
Abby Normal.
Abby Normal. So the next morning, she finds Marty dead on the porch, looking like Marty. There was no reason for the cat to have died of any kind of trauma, and she looked peaceful. Come to find out, this is interesting. Come to find out, after Hurricane Michael came through a few months ago, pets and livestock have been dying this way.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they don't know why. They've done necropsies. There is no indication of any problem with the animal. They just, in the morning time, people find them dead.
So first the aliens are anal probing our cows. Now hurricanes are killing our pets.
Yes. Now here's the thing I asked us. Well, has there been any indication that, it's cats, dogs, cows, it's not like it's in one species. Has anybody said anything about people just being found perfectly healthily dead? And she said not to her knowledge, but if anybody living in the Southeast has heard of anybody, or a string of people, healthy people, being found in the morning dead, please send us an email at dentonandsasshow@gmail.com, or you can go to prepperforms.net. Now, this is a preparation type thing. I mean, really, it could jump to people. So this should be brought up at prepperforms.net. Well, and so join up and bring it up, and we'll join in with it.
If it jumps to people, I say we send it to D.C.
Wow.
What?
You want to kill people? You wanting to kill people?
Just the ones in D.C.
Oh, you don't want to kill people, just politicians.
There you go. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Hey, speaking of politicians, did you know that your own crazy House of Representative, as a matter of fact, she's the grand poobah in House of Representative. She is the number 3 in line, or actually 2 in line after, not counting the president, to be president if the president dies, and then vice president dies. This crazy woman. Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, yeah. Guilty.
Yes. This is from the Daily Caller. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said at her weekly press conference Thursday she would personally support lowering the national voting age to 16. She says, I myself personally, redundancy all over again, you idiot. I'm not speaking for my caucus. I myself, I hate people, have always been for lowering the voting age to 16. Pelosi said when asked by the Daily Caller about her thoughts on the issue. She says, I think it's really important to capture kids when they're in high school, when they're interested in all of this, when they're learning about government, to be able to vote.
Okay, so she wants to raise the age to purchase a firearm, but she wants to lower the age to vote.
Right. This is retarded. This is okay. So you've been reading books about planes. You're interested in planes. Hey, let's let them be a pilot.
Well, kids can be pilots, but still.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Commercial airline pilots. Put Pelosi's kinfolk in danger. Anyway, this is exactly the exact opposite. I'm talking like her. This is the opposite of how I see it. I want to raise it to 21.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, better yet, it's not about age. It's when you've held a job for 2 years.
Yeah. I see where you're going with that.
No theory. Okay, no theory. Nothing has anything to do with what a professor or a teacher told you. I want you out there in the real world for a little bit. Actually, I'd like to go back to the way the Founding Fathers intended it to be, but we can't. So if you're going to change it to where you've got a more involved and more experienced voter.
Well,
but they don't want that, of course, because Democrats want knowledgeable people.
Yeah, you got to have some skin in the game.
Yeah, but they don't want skin in the game. They want knuckleheads.
Well, was it her or one of her ilk recently that claimed they wanted to let... Oh, it was Kamala Harris. Well, no, who was it? One of them said they want to let illegals vote.
Oh, I don't remember. There's been several people who want that.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, you can see where they're going with this, right?
Oh, yeah. Democrats forever.
Well, that's what they did in California. They have full power here, and they will forever until the state collapses, so...
Oh, California will never collapse because the federal government will save California because guess why? California is too big to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Although New York City is about to go bankrupt, and the state governor has already given an indication that, no, we can't help you out. We're in trouble ourselves. How can we help you out? So, yeah, everything's going to collapse around us. The fringes, anyway. In the middle, we're going to sit back and laugh until we realize the dollar's collapsed, too. But...
Well, get that bed made up for me.
It's ready. It's ready whenever you are.
All right.
Speaking of children, this is from Newswise. Mental health issues increased significantly in young adults over the past decade. Hard to imagine.
Well, I say, well, when they're putting all this crap in these kids' head, yeah, I could see that happening.
Oh, yeah. The percentage of young Americans experiencing certain types of mental health disorders has risen significantly over the past decade, with no corresponding increase in older adults, according to research published by the American Psychological Association. So let's look at this. Okay, so young people are experiencing increased mental health disorders, while people older are not. Okay. More U.S. adolescents and young adults in the late 2010s versus the mid-2000s experience serious psychological distress, major depression, or suicidal thoughts, and more attempted suicide. Gene Twenge, PhD, author of the book iGen, said, and a professor of psychology at San Diego State University. He says, these trends are weak or non-existent among adults 26 years and over, suggesting a generational shift in mood disorders instead of overall increase across all ages. Okay, let's see. They are told that gender is fluid. Okay, they've been taught since they're, now they're being taught in preschool homosexual activities quite all right. You get to pick your own gender, all this mess.
Everybody wins a trophy.
Yeah, everybody wins a trophy, and then they get out in the real world and find that's not true. And now we're finding what this is saying is liberalism and accepting what would you call that, mental disorders, because if you don't know what sex you are, that's a mental disorder. Sorry. And at one time, homosexuality was considered a mental disorder until the atheists and the liberals took over psychology and said, no, it's perfectly okay. So now they're accepting all these crazy things as normal, and the kids are suffering from it. But let's let 16-year-olds vote.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it has something to do with computers, too.
Well, they do bring that up as well. They say kids are spending way too much time on their little devices.
Yeah.
And this is messing up their sleep.
Well, their sleep and their just their sense of reality.
Yeah. So I don't know. Speaking of crazy and having a messed up sense of reality, have you ever heard of a fellow named, or do you remember a name, Jim Carrey?
Oh, you mean that actor that was funny for a while and then went off the deep end and now is all crazy and thinks he can paint?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, what was the last movie he made that was worth a stink? Dumb and Dumber, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, this cat comes out. He's all mad about Paul Manafort. He's mad about Manafort's sentence. He says if he was black, we'd never see him again.
Wait, if Jim Carrey was black, we would never see him again?
Oh, I've got a can of black spray paint. If that were the case. No, if Paul Manafort was black, we would never see him again because he had gotten a really bad sentence. Instead, he got less than 4 years. Okay. So anyway, this is from, guess where?
Breitbart.
Yes. How'd you know?
It's your favorite.
I think you need to unplug and replug your mic.
All right.
All right. Actor Jim Carrey ripped into the sentence given to former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort for felony convictions, saying that if Manafort were black, he'd be locked up for the rest of his life.
Well,
thank you, Judge Ellis and Judge Jackson, for showing us vividly and undeniably how racist at heart the American justice system remains.
Well, yeah, let's just throw the race card out. Because what he's saying, there's no proof to it whatsoever, so let's just throw it out there.
Well, I have a response to Jim. Mm-hmm. Dear Jim, if Paul Manafort were Democrat, we would never have seen him charged with anything.
You know what? Touche. That is very true.
So, and this is sick. Every time you can't sneeze without somebody calling you a racist. You can't make anything unless you're licking the boots of somebody who's different color than white. You are a racist. Somebody who is a different color, the same as you, on equal terms, you are a racist.
Well, yeah.
And the funny thing about it is Jim Carrey is white. So why is he licking anybody's boots? He's rich. Why is he even bothering with us? Why even talk to us? Jim, you got gobs of money. Go find an island, get on it, stay on it.
Hold on just a second. Yes, stay on your island, Jim.
Yeah.
Island of misfit toys.
Yes, he is a misfit. Well, that's all I have today. I hope you have something.
Yes, actually, I do. I've got some California news, which I know few people seem to like for some reason.
Because we all think y'all are crazy, and we want to know what's going on in California.
Well, I am here to tell you. I don't know what is going on with this thing tonight. It just will not quit. There we go.
Lick it.
That's what she said. We recently got a new governor. Thank God we got rid of Moonbeam, but now we've got Newsom, who is just as bad, if not worse.
And he has a nickname too, doesn't he?
He's got a few of them. Gruesome is one of them.
Gruesome Newsom. Cool.
Yep. And just for the record, if you're listening to the news and they ever have him speaking on there, you'll notice that he has kind of this sore throat thing going on all the time. Now, this is just my opinion, and this is allegedly, but he's a cokehead.
Okay, I was going to say something a lot worse.
Well, probably that too. But anyway, Newsom suspends California death penalty. 737 inmates get to stay off. Get a stay of execution. Sorry, I read that wrong. Governor Gavin Newsom made a big announcement Wednesday, granting a temporary reprieve to the 737 inmates currently on California's death row. The moratorium on capital punishment is symbolic because of the legal challenges stalling executions in the state, last one being in 2006. Governor Newsom has often spoke about his distaste for capital punishment, citing its high cost, here we go, racial disparities, and questions whether society has the right to take a life. Now, here's his quote. "I know people think eye for an eye, but if you rape, we don't rape," he said. "And I think if someone kills, we don't kill. We're better than that." He continued, "I cannot sign off on executing hundreds and hundreds of human beings, knowing that among them there will be innocent human beings."
Well, if he wants to get all biblical, let me point something out to your governor. The government has a sword, and for just cause. In other words, you kill somebody, we have the government to kill you right back.
Well, even to his statement of, well, if somebody rapes, we don't rape them. And I'm like thinking, well, maybe we should. Maybe it would stop rapes. I know I'd be a lot less apt to rape if I knew I was going to get raped.
Well, just put them in the right prison cell, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'd like to throw Newsom in a couple prison cells. But, and the reason I bring this up, it's not surprising because the guy's an idiot. But just before the election, he was asked about the death penalty. And, of course, he did the total politician thing. He said he didn't like it, doesn't agree with it. But he said he would carry out what the people want. Well, of course he didn't, because in our last election, we also had two things on the ballot. One was, do you want to abolish the death penalty? And the other was, do you want to streamline or expedite the death penalty? Well, the abolish the death penalty lost overwhelmingly. So the people said, no, we do want the death penalty. The one that said, should we streamline it, make it faster so these guys aren't sitting on death row forever, that one overwhelmingly won. So basically Newsom said, oh, okay, well, I see you guys have said what you want, but I'm going to do what I want anyway.
You know what worries me about the whole thing?
What's that?
The same people who elected gruesome Newsom as governor wants to fry people.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird juxtaposition because I was surprised.
Who exactly are they wanting on death row?
Who are they wanting on death row?
Yeah, I mean, could Sasquatch one day be on death row because of your opinion?
Well, I could be.
See, that kind of crazy things go through them. I think of those things.
Well, and it makes it even worse because I don't know if you heard about this case, but there's this guy, there was this girl down in San Diego. Her name was Polly Klaas. Little girl, I think she was like 9 or 10, something like that. Well, she got abducted by this guy. And, of course, he took her and did the most horrible things you can think of to her, and then he killed her. Well, he got caught, and he is sitting on death row. Well, when Gavin Newsom made this proclamation yesterday, he invited the father of Polly Klaas to the ceremony and kind of made it sound like he was going to make some big deal about finally we're going to get rid of these dirtbags. And then when the guy showed up at the thing, Newsom says, well, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these people from dying. I mean, is that the most sadistic thing you could think of? To bring a parent, of a child that was killed to the ceremony where you're going to tell that parent, we're going to let this guy live, even though he has been sentenced to death.
Well, I kind of agree that you would think that's sadistic, but you don't know. We're talking about the mind of liberal. Maybe the liberal, your governor, was giving Mr. Klaas the knowledge that this cat that killed your daughter is going to have to suffer in prison until he's dead. That could be. I'm trying to find a way where your governor's not a sadistic bastard.
You know what? I guess so. I get. You can't tell what's going through the mind of these people. But my thing is, okay, if you're going to do this, well, then take them all off of death row and put them back into general population, because on death row, at least in California, they get their own cell. They get a bunch of perks like nicer meals and their own time in the yard and all this kind of. So if you're not going to kill them, stick them back with the rest of them and let nature take its course.
Well, you remember what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But even so, okay, so the people passed that thing and said, yeah, we want the death penalty and we want it to happen faster. And he says no. Well, after he did that, ABC Eyewitness News reported a poll Wednesday, and this is the day he announced it. They heard about this, so they took a poll Wednesday that showed a majority of California residents still support the death penalty after Governor Gavin Newsom's moratorium on all executions. The Survey USA poll found 60% of respondents in California support the death penalty, with 26 opposed and the rest uncertain. Half of the residents in the survey said they oppose Newsom's order, with 34% in support, and half said they disagree with Newsom's statement that the death penalty is not keeping with our core values. Oh, that was another thing he said. Yeah, the death penalty is not our core values.
Who's our?
California's.
The same California that are for the death penalty?
No, he's talking about progressive California's values, which they have none. Now, while all this is going on, our wonderful sanctuary state here has allowed another illegal to kill a citizen of California. This dirtbag from El Salvador got tattoos all over his face. He's been in trouble since, I think, I can't remember exactly, but he came into the country, and within weeks of getting here, he started his crime spree. Kidnapping, robbery, assault on a police officer, murder, all these things. Well, he killed a 70-year-old woman up in Northern California. And he had 2 holds on him, detainers from ICE. They said, look, we want this guy because we need him out of the country. And California said no and released him, and he killed a woman.
Well, you know what? You know who should be held accountable for that woman's death? You know who it is.
Oh, yeah.
The Guatemalan, he's probably, MS-13 as well?
I would guess so, yes.
Well, I mean, considering all the tattoos. But he shouldn't be the only one that gets a lethal injection.
No, I think anybody that supports the sanctuary city should get the lethal injection as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is to me, this is just tyranny, and tyranny and stupidity go together, because the only way tyranny can work is if you have stupid people. Because we keep here in California, we keep putting these people back into office, and they keep doing stupid stuff like this. I mean, they support the illegals over the citizens of the state. That just blows my mind.
How is this popularity? I wonder how Newsom's popularity is now.
I don't know. Let me see if I can find out real quick.
All right, because I'm really interested. He's obviously going against the will of the people as far as the death penalty. Are the people turning their backs on him?
Well, I mean
they're always worried about that kind of stuff with Trump.
This was only yesterday, so I doubt they've taken a new one. Let me see.
Yeah, I doubt you'd find anything.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. I can't find anything on it. But,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, you're going to be gone for a week. So when you get back, maybe there'll be some information out by then.
Hopefully he's run out of town on the rail by then.
Yeah, you get back from your cruise and get some good news. That'd be great.
But hey, on a lighter note, I figure we'll end things with this. Kind of a nice book into your cat story at the beginning of the show here. Mm-hmm. A Virginia woman was arrested after an officer found her staggering down the street carrying a suitcase full of cats.
She had a bunch of cats, orcas, what do you call that?
Stuffed into a suitcase?
No, I was thinking Cats, the Broadway show. She had a bunch of bootleg CDs.
Oh, no. They were actual live pussycats.
Stuffed in a suitcase.
Yeah, and my question is, how did she get them in there? Because, I mean, everybody knows the old saying, it's like herding cats. And you can't get them to go where you want them to go. So how could you get them all in a suitcase?
I tried putting a cat in a cardboard box one time. I cannot tell you the story because PETA will come and apprehend me, lynch me or something other. It didn't end well for me. it ended worse for the cat. But trust me, that's hard. She got a suitcase full of those critters in there.
She did it somehow. 43-year-old Shauna Hallwager told the officer that she was bringing the cats to a shelter run by the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. The deputy wrote in his arrest report that he smelled alcohol on her breath, and he noticed that she had bloodshot eyes and was slurring her speech. He took her into custody for public intoxication and brought her to the Rappahannock Regional Jail, where she was held until she sobered up. The cats were given to the Stafford County Animal Control. Hollowegger was arrested again the following night after the same officer found her flailing her arms in the middle of the road. She was taken back to jail and released after she sobered up. So, seems to be a pattern with this woman.
She is the cat woman that went totally cat crazy. Bat crazy.
Yeah, there's a picture of this lady, too, and not that attractive.
That one I imagine not. Yeah, she's carrying pussy in a suitcase.
Well, I've done that before. No, never mind.
All right. Well, that's the end of the show, is it?
Like carrying a six-pack. Yes, that's the end of the show.
Well, for everybody who didn't pay attention to the last show, I'm going to tell you this show. Sasquatch is about to take Hot Nursey on a cruise. Oh, by the way, did you get your passport?
Yes, I did. Fine.
Excellent. All right. Well, you got your passport, you got your ID, you got your suitcase. Hopefully it's just clothing. And he's going to go on a cruise, and he's going to be back in a week. So this coming week, this coming Sunday and coming Wednesday or whatever, Thursday, whatever you usually do it, we're not going to get it. But the next Sunday, we should be up and running. So,
with tons of stories of my adventures overseas.
Arg.
If they don't make me walk the plank.
Yes. So, well, hopefully the world is not doomed by then. But if it is, hey, cruise liner is the best place to be.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be hanging out with Isaac the bartender, drinking up.
That's right. Y'all have a good night now. We'll see you in many, many days.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. Pussycat, pussycat, I've got flowers and lots of hours to spend with you. So go and powder your cute little pussycat nose.